Welcome to an episode of InRange. I've got a very special guest today, Tacticool girlfriend, and you're coming to us for your very first Desert Brutality. All the way from the land of trees and water to the land of dirt and rocks.
That's right.
So what are your thoughts about coming out? First of all, thank you for coming out. You came a long way.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm stoked to be here. It's a beautiful day out, and yeah, it's crazy. I haven't gone this far for a shooting competition before, so it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
I'm honored and privileged that you made this the one that you drive this far to come try out. So what I was thinking is maybe this is your first match ever, or Desert Brutality match, excuse me. So maybe you could walk the audience through the gear you've decided to use for this, and then we'll get some footage of you shooting today, all the 7 stages. And then at the end, maybe we'll talk about what your feelings and impressions are about what this was and what it was like and what you thought it might be, or maybe what you expected, or maybe you should say what you expect now, and we'll get at the end how you feel about it at the end. So what's your expectations of a brutality match?
My expectation is to be extremely exhausted.
Yeah?
Roughed up, tired.
Okay.
Dehydrated, probably.
I think you're going to be right. So
yeah.
Why don't I step to the side and you can talk to the camera about what you brought for the brutality event.
All right. So as far as gear goes, today as far as firearms go, running my 11.5-inch AR build, my Glock 19, and Haley Strategic D3 CRM chest rig, and my Faro Concepts Bison belt.
So in this regard, you're shooting in what I think you're in the Partisan division, is that correct? So
yeah.
Partisan is a certain point-based division where the gear you have adds up to a certain number of points, and that's what you can have. So you're running a red dot with a magnifier,
correct,
which I believe we score as a single optic in this event,
right?
Because an LPVO is considered a single optic as well. But you do have a red dot on your Glock.
I do.
Which means you can't have extendos in your Glock, if I'm correct in that regard. And then you're not wearing armor, but you're wearing a standard low-grain kit.
Correct.
And you're running a suppressor.
Yes.
Have you found the suppressor and dynamic movement to be a little challenging sometimes? Because I find it to be almost sometimes a detriment.
It is a detriment.
Okay, fair.
But I want to use my gear, and I don't know. I do like the way it shoots with the suppressor on it, so.
It is nice. It's pleasant.
Yeah, it's new.
Yep.
So.
Oh, well, it'll be scratched up by the end of the day.
I love it.
So at the end of this, we're going to get back. We're going to see what you think about all this. And we can talk about how this gear worked for you here, as well as you're going to film your whole event for your channel.
Right.
So at the end, we'll call on that too. So stay tuned for some cool Tacticool girlfriend shooting at Desert Brutality 2022. Hey, engage far left. All right, so you've just completed your first Desert Brutality event. I just want to hear what you think. Like the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, what's your takeaway from the very first time you shot one of these?
I had an absolute blast. Like, I'm exhausted, but like, I've learned so much. Every single stage I shot was involving like targets I've never shot before, actions I've never really done before.
Okay.
You know, I'm still fairly new to competitive shooting, and yeah, it's been enlightening, and I just absolutely loved every second of it.
Well, from your videos, you're clearly doing a lot of training out in the
Yes.
field, right? So that is, of course, like, how does, I would ask this, so the training that you do in the field, this is still a competition ultimately. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be a place where people have a good time, but Desert Brutality and all the Brutality events were always meant to be a place where you could use, as much as we can in a competition environment, real world skills on the clock.
Right.
Do you feel like this did this and where it did, or maybe it didn't? And I'm fine for either of those.
I mean, I feel like it highlighted a lot of things that like I don't necessarily train that much, which is cool. And it like gave me a lot of ideas of things that, like I want to try. But a lot of things do translate.
Okay.
And like a lot of your fundamentals are really gonna just come through when you're doing anything, regardless if it's new or old. And yeah, I felt like I you know, like I shot the star.
Yeah, oh yeah, so the Death Star,
today.
this moving, swinging thing, yeah.
I've never even shot a star before.
But a moving target's a moving target, right? Yeah,
So, and I felt great about it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you did very well on it, honestly.
Thank you.
Like, moving targets are something that are hard to do in a competition environment. So, like, but at the same time, leaving moving targets out of your shooting scenarios is very unrealistic, right? I mean, moving targets are moving targets. That's the whole point. So everything being static changes things.
Right.
Anything in particular that you found like was like a highlight of stages or stage designs for today? Like, we started off on what is our longest range, 200 yards, climbing over and under and shooting, and we finished on a very dynamic pistol bay.
Right.
Like, between the two, like, was there anything that like really sticks out or pops?
I really enjoyed the stage that involved the 50-pound sandbag.
Oh yeah.
Like,
okay.
That was hard, but like rewarding at the same time, and like the barricade work that was a part of that stage, like I did like really revert to my training, and it felt good. And I was like confident, even though like my hands were like absolutely like exhausted, my arms were wobbling and everything.
Yeah, shooting under duress is a whole different bag.
Yeah.
Which, people that just go to the range and just shoot on a square range without doing it on the clock is one thing.
Right.
And then not doing it on the clock without actual physical elements as well is another element that changes things. And that's where you said like the fundamentals still come through. If you've got the
Totally.
fundamentals and you're like, you still have fundamentals, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crucial, I think.
Yeah.
And if the whole point is to have fun but have stress induced.
Right.
And that's so I think like the Casarda drill, which I didn't name for myself, someone else did that. I feel like that one, it gets the most of that because it's both physical and it's rifle burpees getting up and down. It's quick hits on target. You get winded by the end of it. Like I think like almost anyone, I think we were talking about this, so you could kind of do that anywhere.
You can totally do it anywhere.
And take that stage and just go in the field. And
Yeah.
like, that's the one that kind of does all this stuff.
I feel silly because I've never even thrown one of those before, and like, like yeah, kettlebells. Like I exercise with them, but I don't have like a 50-pound one,
Sure.
and I've never taken one to the range. But I'm inspired. Like I'm gonna start doing that now.
The funny thing about that, we'll hear in the audience a lot, is like, well, like, what's tactical about a kettlebell? Absolutely nothing. Nothing's tactical about a kettlebell. But what is tactical is being under physical and time stress and still getting hits.
Exactly.
And the kettlebell induces that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the kettlebell's not tactical. It's the other part, or
Right.
that's where the skills come in, right?
Totally.
Yeah. But anything else you want to say to the audience from your first Desert Brutality?
I just want to thank you a lot for having me here.
Thanks for being here.
And yeah, I like am really just honored to be here and like also be shooting in this like incredibly beautiful
It's pretty
land.
yeah.
It's a total different shift from what I'm used to doing,
It's kind of alien.
and I love it.
So you're going to have a complete video of the whole match on
Correct.
your channel, correct?
Correct.
So this was like a general summary, an idea of like, wanted to get a thought about what your first match was like.
Right.
But we're going to link to this to your channel for the full match as well.
Perfect.
So if you want to see what the whole thing was, go check it out on Tactical Girlfriend's channel. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.